Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back
Hello.
to another Disney podcast. We are so
Hello.
glad to be back with you. Brandon is in the house. Well, he's in his house.
I'm in a house. Yes, correct.
If you missed the last episode, Rob Fuzz was with us. Awesome episode. I like. Should we let the cat out of the bag about him? I think it's okay now, right?
I think it's okay now. Yeah.
He is going to be regular-ish. You know how Dave likes to make up his words. Yeah, he's going to be regular-ish.
It is a Disney podcast, so like we need to be intentionally vague. Like we should say like Rob Fuzz is coming to another Disney podcast spring of 2023. I mean, that could mean like the end of February, that could mean June.
Or it could mean 1,875 days. You know, you pick.
Next spring, whichever you prefer.
Thank you, Tron. Okay, we have. I'm really excited about this episode, not because I picked the subject, because yours are normally like really good, thoughtful, and so I was like, I need to lean in a little bit, make this a team effort, and so I did some work.
You did some work today.
As you've seen by the title of this episode, hopefully this sparks like debate, because I'm sure there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that would adamantly disagree with this being a value, but I would say not so fast. That's kind of where I'm at. So no news and brews today. We're just going to jump right in and cover this because I think this will take up a good chunk of time as we plead the case for After Hours. Like it needs pleading. Like I
don't know why you would have to plead the case for it. I mean, it makes its own case. If this went, if this After Hours was taken to court, it would win.
Yes, in night court.
In the court of public opinion.
Night court. It only stands a chance in night court. Okay, so let's kind of go through your what, where, when, why, how, like, and sometimes why, whatever that is. So what? There may be humans. This is a judgment-free zone that may not know what After Hours is. So, in its simplest form, it is a separated ticketed event that takes place on certain nights in certain parks and allows guests to explore those parks after the park, air quotes, closes, with little to no wait for some of the most popular rides and attractions. So that is what an After Hours event. I have experienced one at
I think you've been to Animal Kingdom and
Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are the two that I've been to. They also take place at Hollywood Studios. And there was a newcomer last year that we are presumptuating that they will do it again this year. Totally made up that word.
Big word.
So that's the why. So, well, let's lead right into that. Brandon, let's talk about what we know so far as to where they're going to be and where we think one's going to be based on 2022.
Yeah. So where they are is obviously they are going to be at the Magic Kingdom. And we'll get into why that is by far and away the best option. Oh, yes. They're also going to be at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So obviously, if you want to ride some of the more popular attractions there, this is the time to go. Maybe, Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run without the crazy 3-hour wait. And I think this year they are going to open up Typhoon Lagoon for some After Hours events, which could be cool as long as you do it obviously in the dead of summer when it's hot.
Yeah.
Not like it is here right now. It is 62 degrees.
Whoa, beautiful weather. Yeah, beautiful. I feel like last year it was like select dates like May through August or May through July. So somewhere in there. So I can't imagine that any way that Disney can, charge $150 per person to have I would be shocked if they didn't do it. But curiously, and it has been like this for a few years, Animal Kingdom is not on the list. I feel like Epcot has opened the latest and the longest every day that I don't believe there's ever been an After Hours event.
I don't think there's been special events like for groups, but I don't think there's ever been a specific After Hours. I think the size of this park precludes that, and the fact that do you just leave in its current state? Obviously, Future World is all being constructed. So there's not really anything to do up
Right.
there. I don't know that you'd get people to pay $159, $160 for Frozen, the Barf Mobile, that is Mission Space, Nemo, Living with the Land, and Soren. That's kind of, and Test Track. That's kind of where you are, because I can't imagine they would just leave the countries open for people to roam until 2 a.m. There's not really revenue making things back there. So I think that's why they're left off. Now, this may change once they get the Moana area open, but for now, I can see why they leave Epcot off. It's just not financially makes sense. And apparently the same with Animal Kingdom. As much as we love Animal Kingdom and we want to see Animal Kingdom at night, that is not the overall consensus for people. Most people leave Animal Kingdom by about 5 or 6 p.m. They've gone out to see the safari and ride Everest, and they've been to Pandora. They don't really care about seeing it at night. So apparently there's a huge revenue drop off after about 5 or 6, and that's why Animal Kingdom is never open at night, even though the main attraction in the park was designed to be at night.
You don't say.
You don't say. And that's why we've talked about, obviously, like, it would be cool just to have a Pandora after hours event. Like, I don't know, I'd pay $75 to have 3 hours in Pandora. Like,
they got good eats there. They've got that cool drink, like bar stop, or I don't know, hut. Drink hut is good, and there's 2 attractions and a lot to look at. And
I mean, I'd pay $50 or $75 for a couple hours just to wander around there. So
ride those rides 2-3 times.
The problem is you have to walk through the whole park to get there. So
just open the back gate.
I agree.
I've seen the overhead view. There's another way in.
There's another way. I like it. But that's why Animal Kingdom's left out and Epcot's left out. So Magic Kingdom, Disney Hollywood Studios, and Typhoon Lagoon.
And my guess is, because I've been to one, and you want to talk about feeling like it was empty. It felt like there was 2.5 people in that park. Now, so my guess is there wasn't enough of a draw. Like maybe they didn't feel like they made enough money to worthwhile to keep it open. So that would be my guess as to the why. But I don't know. Who knows? So we've got the what, we've got the where. Let's talk about the when. As of right now, at Magic Kingdom, there are dates through the end of March. Hollywood Studios has a few more dates into April. As a matter of fact, just 3. And then we're, again, based on 2022, Typhoon Lagoon was select nights through the summer. So take that for what it's worth, as Brandon said, when we were like summer, whatever that means. Like, I think it was pretty much May through August. But as Brandon alluded to, by far, why we think that after hours is the best value at Walt Disney World is right now solely encapsulated in Magic Kingdom. And so that's what we're going to focus on. Hollywood Studios is good, but like, again, there's just not a lot to do there, and there's a lot of dead ends, and I don't know. Like, we'll talk about it at the end, but like, dollar for dollar, you get a smoking value at Magic Kingdom. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with this, right? That's another like cash grab, another extra charge event. What do you now? We both know that we love this, but what are you like? What's your gut reaction when people say that? Like, other than you have a right to have a wrong opinion. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's 100% right. I mean, your opinion is valid, even though it may be wrong. I agree. I think they look at the price without determining the value. So that's like your gut reaction is,
right.
All right. So they say, all right, so this party is from 10 to 1. Right. Yeah. So they think 3 hours. So they're saying I'm paying $160, which is the most expensive one. Select nights, depending on if you're a pass holder or not, you can go for as little as $102.
Right.
But they see 3 hours for $160. That seems ridiculous to me when I look at pricing.
Right. Which is basically, let's definitely share. That is basically the price of a full day ticket to Magic Kingdom. Correct. There are select, like, it's not it's above the average. I think the average price is like 135, 145 ish. So it's higher. It's not the most you can pay, like around Christmas time, New Year's Eve, that kind of thing. But it's definitely not the cheapest. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like, so I get it, right? It is a It is a full day price of admission for 3 hours. Fair enough. Continue.
Yes. So here's where I think people overlook, or this is what they overlook if they've never been to one before. Yes, it looks like you're only getting 3 hours for $100 to $160. But this is what the best part of it is. The event begins at 10 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can enter the park at Magic Kingdom starting at 7 p.m.
That's right.
So at 7 p.m., you can check in. If you're already in the park, you can go to one of the many stations in the park that allow you to check in for the party.
Yep.
They are going to give you a wristband. Now, if you go before the 7 p.m., like if you want to spend your whole day in the park, you are going to need a valid reservation, and you're going to need a
that's
ticket.
Important. Mm-hmm.
That's an important thing. Just because you have the party ticket, you cannot go for the entire day at Magic Kingdom. But if you are just going from 7 on, you don't need a reservation and you don't need your normal day ticket. So it's not going to cost you $300 to do this. If you want to, if you want to just show up for the party. I
do want to say one thing. This is not advice you should follow, but advice you should listen to. Does that make sense? Disney transportation, or transportation getting to and from the parks, is its own adventure. Is that a good
Correct.
Positive way to say it? Especially when it comes to Magic Kingdom. Now, I'm not saying that I have personally experienced this, but I have a sneaky suspicion when you're trying to gauge how you're going to get from where you're at to your after hours park. In this case, we're looking at Magic Kingdom, and you may have arrived between 6:15, 6:30. It would not surprise Uncle Dave if they let you in early. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I personally have never experienced that, but something tells me if you arrive around 6:30 and like, well, we just got here, I have a sneaky suspicion that you have a above 50% chance of them just letting you in.
I
like
agree.
Each cast member is different, but I wanted to say that is not a guarantee. That is not something that is like actually happening, but that's so close to the event.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe now there's new rules and they just do that, but like there it is. 7 p.m. is flexible because we all know how hard it is to get from the TTC to the park. Like,
correct.
It's an adventure, and like I don't know, sometimes that can take an hour, sometimes it can take 20 minutes, right? I mean, so
correct.
I would err on the side of an hour because I would want to get there and make sure I'm getting all of my money's worth with checking in at 7.
Yeah.
But it would not surprise me if you're there in and around 7 p.m. We'll just say it like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I
think you would have a more than 50% chance of a nice cast member at the front and letting you in. And usually I've been there when they've been having these after hour events. It's the same for the Halloween party and the Christmas party. I think for those you can come in at 4 because obviously everything's pushed up a little earlier during the winter time. But I've been there at 3:30. I've seen people coming in. The cast members are already in their party costumes. Yep. So it would not surprise me, like Uncle Dave said, that you'd be able to get in. Now, don't plan your day to get there and squeeze, another hour out of your party day because you're going to send us hate mail and things like that when you show up at 3 or 6 and you can't get in. But I mean, just be nice to the cast member. That's
I would lean in. I would lean in about 6:39.
Like 6:39.
I feel like starting then you're going to have a better than average shot. Yeah. Now, you did mention something early on in that because there are going to be several people that just go to the park that day and then are staying for the party. So as of now, there's 3 locations in the park because I know I was guilty of this. When I did a party with y'all, or maybe it was with Matthew and his family, we were already, as pass holders, we were already there. This was before like park reservation. We're like, we're going to spend the whole day there. And I went all the way back to the entrance. Yeah. I don't know if that used to be the only place you could have it.
I think it did used to be. I think they opened up these other checkpoints. There may have been one other one over by Buzz Lightyear. And
I feel like Tomorrowland was where
Tomorrowland, but I don't think they had 3 or 4 like they do now.
So speaking of, right now there are 3. So you'll look for cast members in Tomorrowland. It'll be across from Monsters Inc., aka Stitch's Great Escape. Since there's nothing there, they set up kind of like a staging area where you can come through. And they have like these, at least now, they have like these lollipop stands, for lack of a better term, like they're holding this big pole that has a big circle.
Yes.
On top. This looks like a lollipop. That'll probably say something about like after hours check-in, or I forget what it says. So the base across from the laugh floor at Liberty Square ticket office, which is near the Hall of Presidents, and finally Adventureland Tortuga Tavern across from Pirates. So good 3 well-dispersed locations, albeit still toward the frontish area of the park, even in those 3 areas, but definitely a lot better than walking all the way back up to the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a little side note, like if you ever are there on not a party day and it's not a check-in place, back by the Hall of Presidents ticket office, there are 2 rocking chairs that are the best place to sit in the entire park. That's just a little insider knowledge. Yeah. There's a ticket office right there. If you come out the ticket office and go towards Liberty Square, towards the riverboat, look to the right-hand side right before you get to the Hall of Presidents, 2 rocking chairs that are super comfy and no one usually knows about them. And it's a very shady place to chill out during the day.
When he means shady, he means a lack of sun.
Lack of sun and a good place to catch a nap.
If Brandon and Dave are there, it will be shady. Okay, so let's pregame a little bit. So let's talk about because all right, so obviously if you land there at 7, or as Uncle Dave suggested, 6:39 p.m., there's obviously people that are not there for the ticketed event or have been at the park all day that are still enjoying their day. They're there through the evening. Again, for this particular party that we're looking at, it starts at 10 p.m. So coming in at 7, there are still people that are winding down their evening, getting ready for fireworks, maybe a last few rides, and then heading out after park close. So what do we do, or what would we suggest to optimize your pregame or pre-event time there? And so I thought of really only 2 major options. I'll let Brandon share one if he's got one, but like really, like if you want to see the fireworks, it's a great time. You can stake out a place to see the fireworks because you're not in a hurry to do anything, right? If you don't have a pregame plan, you can get a pretty optimal spot if you just land there and sit there for 2.5 hours before the fireworks, or you can begin to head to some attractions, and we'll dive into that and kind of break apart what we would suggest. But what else? Is there anything that I'm missing or not thinking of that you would maybe think about doing? I mean, I thought about dinner reservations.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
what I was going to say.
A reservation.
The only other thing would be like, hey, a lot of times people, if they've paid this much to get into the park and they want to do as much as possible on the day they're there, they don't want to sit down at a nice sit-down restaurant, Skipper Canteen or Cinderella's Royal Table or something like that. They don't want to waste their park day doing that. So this provides a great time. If you can get a reservation, you have from 4 to 7 to sit down, have a nice meal, enjoy something that you may not be able to enjoy during a normal day. And I know I can hear some of you out there right now saying, but what about all the attractions? We're going to get to that. I promise you, we are going to get to that. This is a great time to slow down. Like if one of your things is go sit and wait for fireworks for 3 hours, right? Because you want to see the fantastic fireworks show. You certainly could go sit in the air conditioning and eat some food. And then go,
touche.
And then go to your fireworks spot. So my advice would be try to get that hard to come by reservation, right? And a lot of people, what they're going to do on the other side, the people who don't have party reservations or after hours events, they are going to try to get their reservations as late as possible because they think somehow if they go to dinner and they come out, they can sneak into the party. Disney is very, very, very good about if you have a late check-in, when you get in, they give you I think it's a big yellow wristband. And so once you're done with your dinner, the big yellow wristband indicates you are not supposed to be here any longer, and cast members escort you to the front of the park.
I will say, in the past, I remember, and I think we'll get there later, but since you brought it up, we might as well just dive into it. Like in the past, in previous after hours events, there were at strategic entry points to different, whether it be different lands or just major thoroughfares throughout said park, whatever one it is. There were typically cast members, like basically if you're watching video, they would hold their arm up like this and kind of reveal their wrist, like signifying, show me your wristband. Now, I have heard the first couple of this year that have started, they weren't really doing that, but any ride or attraction that you tried to get on, that's where they were requiring you to show your wristband. That made sense to me. Like, cause like there's not a lot of, you can't do anything, but I've always thought like, well, man, what if I wanted to hang out and shop with a whole lot less people there? And are they going to ruffle me out? I'm trying to spend my dollars. I think in the past, that was the case. At least for the first couple of parties, that did not happen. They were just looking at it for attractions or included food that we'll get to. So that is kind of interesting, but I would bank on they're going to be strategically located in heavy access points, looking for your wristband, whether you're heading to an attraction or not. But like, apparently that wasn't, people did not experience seeing that or being asked to do that, which I thought was a little different. So
and I feel like it's a learning curve because they obviously had a whole bunch of other things going on. I mean, we had a Splash Mountain closing. So like for the last 2 weeks, like it's been crazy, probably all cast members on deck, security wise and crowd control wise. We're down there. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of the social media posts, but the last 2 days of Splash Mountain were unbelievable. The lines went from Splash Mountain all the way back past the Haunted Mansion. At one point they were to the tangled bathrooms.
Crazy.
I really wanted to go, but I saw the line and I was like, I'm not waiting 3 hours. I'm just not waiting 3 hours. I've been on it. So
like, I've done it.
I mean, it's my favorite attraction. I'm sad to see it go, but I'm not waiting 3 hours to ride it. So I think it's more of a learning curve. Like we just started these after hours events. So as we get more deeper into the summer, deeper into these events, I think you're going to see those cast members at strategic points because obviously if the word gets around, you know how Disney blogs are, Disney Facebook groups that, as soon as somebody puts out, hey, they let me stay in the park and just wander around. I just couldn't get on anything.
Right.
Then all of a sudden there's going to be thousands of people just wandering around, not getting on anything. So
and I think that like, the non-trustworthy people, aka Dave, would hang around and with like 45 minutes to an hour left in the night, they're probably not checking wristbands anymore. It's that late. Like, so something tells me that like at some point they're either going to have to do it or whatever. One thing that I forgot we didn't cover is Disney doesn't give us numbers, but we've said this in the past, but I want to reiterate. My guess would be a few thousand of these tickets are what gets sold. Again, we don't have a definitive number, but if you've been to a Halloween party or a Christmas party and you're thinking that
seems like a few 100,000 tickets or something.
It is nothing like that. Like you can literally walk in some areas of the park and see like a handful of people or no people. Like it is definitely that, especially if like you're over in an area, maybe you're looping around somewhere and there really isn't an attraction open over there. There is again. So we're talking about this being the value. Let me just stop beating around the bush. That's one of the reasons why it is a value is this is definitely what I would call a limited ticket event to the point where you will experience little to no wait times for in this year, the 23 attractions that are open. That is a guarantee from Uncle Dave. I don't know why there's so much Uncle Dave this episode, but whatever. Okay. So speaking of attractions, when we're pre-gaming here, so 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So reservation or sit down for a quick service or grab your spot for said fireworks or attractions. Brandon and I, even though he lives there, if we did this, we would probably be scoping our attractions. So the first thing that we would do is we would hit the app and look at the wait times. And why we would do that is because this is a key time late in the day as people are beginning to, again, all day parkers are looking for their fireworks spot or just wrapping up dinner and whatever. But you're going to want to hunt those attractions that you may not care as much about, but are going to have the lesser wait times. Now, this comes with a big asterisk that is every day is a different day. And the crowds are like Living with the Land. We used to joke at Epcot never has a line. And then on busy days, it's like a 40-minute wait. So take this for what it's worth. That's why the app is so important. But I would say, look at rides like Dumbo, Under the Sea, Mad Tea Party, Carousel of Progress, Magic Carpets. Those tend to be shorter wait or lesser desired attractions. And so I would aim to hit some of those to just like because Brandon and I would probably play the game. We're at this party. We're at 7. It's till 1. How many rides can we do?
Exactly.
Like, it would be that. That's what we would do.
It would be a competition, 100%.
Yes.
Now, here's something I didn't think about, and I don't know. So, say I buy a party ticket, and I go in the park. I've scanned into the park at 4 p.m. When I get in the park, can I buy Genie Plus?
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
Sorry, 7 p.m. and it closes at 10 or whatever time. Can I buy Genie Plus?
That is a good question.
I don't know the answer to that, but if you can, this is a great opportunity to hit some of those lesser desirable attractions. If you can buy Genie Plus and get on a couple with being able to hang out in the lightning lane, that's going to speed it up.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have to wait. I think you have to wait 2 hours after your first selection. So even if you could buy it, you may only get 2 or 3. But if it's a day where it's $12 or $13, it may be worth it.
Yeah. Something like yesteryear, Dave would have said, I don't think they're going to do that. But new cash grab Disney Dave would say, it'd be silly for them not to. I mean, because what, like you said, what will you get? Maybe 1 or 2 rides, and they got another $15 off of you.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, that is what I would do, or what we would recommend between 7 and 10 p.m. because that's a good
7 and 10
chunk of time. That's
a good chunk of time.
A long time.
And you're going to find a lot of people. The days that these events exist, just much like the parties, people don't want their day cut short, right? So they don't want to spend their Magic Kingdom day at a day there's an after hours event because they feel like they're getting gypped out of something. So the good news is the fireworks now are at about 8:15. They'll get a little later in the summertime, but after the fireworks on these days, most people are going to head out. So if you're going to get there at 7, like we said, grab something to eat, do some shopping, scope out some things that you may not normally check out. Wait till the fireworks. And if you've seen the fireworks, this is a great time to knock out. I mean, if you could do Dumbo, Under the Sea, Small World, and Peter Pan probably all during the fireworks because
that's true.
People are just waiting for the show. So if you've seen the fireworks, this is a great time to hit some of those lesser desirable attractions that you don't want to waste time going after during the actual party.
Okay, so game time, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's important to talk about this. Remember, not everything is open. Like that's a good first thing to discover. Now, some of the more popular attractions also could have a wait time during the first hour or so of the event, because just like any other park day that you would go to, if you get in line at 9:59 for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, all right, and there's a 60-minute wait, you're going to be in line from 9 to 10. 10 to 11, if that's the case, right? But they're allowed to do there. Now, typically what we found is once you get in line, it's typically no more than like 30 minutes because no one is adding to that's it. You're the last person or the last few people in line. So I would anticipate that some of the more popular attractions would be have a longer wait time at the beginning of the party because of, again, if you get in line before official park close, you can stay in line and ride set attractions. So it'd be good to hit some of the major ones, but not the breadwinners. I don't know. I'm just making up this stuff as I go. Like I would not get in line for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at 10 o'clock. That's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Or Peter Pan.
Be selective about what you choose. So think about that. Now the other thing is like we talked about the wristbands earlier, cast members are going to start checking at 10:01 or 10 o'clock in 1 second. So be thinking about that. If you're meeting friends that maybe were there for the day and you're trying to sneak them, it's not gonna work. Let's go through, Brandon.
Yes.
Let's go through the different lands and what is open. Like I said, as of right now, there's 23 attractions that look like they're open for 2023 Magic Hours. You see what I did there?
2023, 23 for 23.
Okay. How about I do Adventureland, Frontierland, and Liberty Square, and you do the other two because that's where everybody's at.
Sounds good.
Okay. In Adventureland, you will have Jungle Cruise, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, Swiss Family Treehouse, do not miss. And Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room.
Also, do not miss.
Yes. And Frontierland, Country Bear Jamboree and Splash Mountain. So it'll be interesting because we're looking at a printed one from an earlier party when that still was in existence. I wonder if they'll switch it up, and fingers crossed, I have zero insider information. Maybe they'll add Big Thunder.
But the only problem with that is I'm pretty sure that Big Thunder's going down for refurbishment. So there will be no Frontierland. There's nothing unless they want to open up Tom Sawyer's Island in the dark.
Or Country Bear Jamboree. That's all you're going to get.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get. So maybe they'll block it off past there. Like you won't be able to walk. You know what I mean?
Because going back there to be quiet and you won't run into people back there.
No, there won't be any people. So
and then Liberty Square, thank God, Haunted Mansion.
The Mansion of Haunts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that takes us to Fantasyland. Now, this is where a lot of the stuff, I mean, most of the attractions in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are open, which is a good thing. So you have in Fantasyland, you have the Barnstormer. You have one of my top 5 personal favorite rides. If you ever listen to that show back in the day, Dumbo, the Flying Elephant. You have It's a Small World. You have Mad Tea Party, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Mickey's PhilharMagic, Peter Pan's Flight, Prince Charming's Regal Carousel, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and Under the Sea, A Journey with the Little Mermaid. Now, I wonder, since this is an older map.
Well, I believe it was from the first party this month.
I wonder if they will eventually have the Ariel meet and greet in there, since that is come back.
I wonder.
And then in Tomorrowland, you have the Astro Orbiter, or as I affectionately like to refer to it, the Barf-mobile.
Yes.
Buzz Lightyear's Ranger Spin, Space Mountain, Tomorrowland Speedway, and the People Mover. So on that side of the park, pretty much everything is open.
Yes.
Which is great. And keep that in mind, because that is where a majority of the people will be. So if you're trying to knock off some of those things less desirable from 7 to 10, start in Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, and then move to the other stuff later in the day.
Yeah. I know there's some shopping that's also open, but I can't remember seeing or reading, like, is there any like actual dining places open from 10 to 1? I don't believe there is.
I don't think so. The only thing that's open is the
carts.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we'll get to that. So
we'll get to that. But there is you can't go sit down at Skipper Canteen between 10 and 1.
No. Which would be awesome.
But
I would fall asleep because that's pretty late. Okay. So that is, so like we said, 23, but we have to now cross out Splash Mountain. So I wonder if they will add something, but I'm trying to think, what would they add?
There's not really anything else to add, because I mean, if it wasn't going down for renovation, I would definitely think Big Thunder. Maybe they postpone I'm sure Disney is.
Would they add Tron? Would they add Tron?
Ooh.
Man, this becomes the best money spent.
This becomes the $159 is 100% the best. If they add Tron to this,
I can't imagine them not. Come on.
You would have to be. I mean, their number one attraction that people are paying extra money, you'd have to be able to get on it.
Hold on. This is strategically, remember, I forgot the dates go through March.
Oh, it's not open yet. Oh, so maybe if we get some summertime after hours.
Yeah. I'm hopefully they will measure this and see, okay, was this a value? And then they'll do some in the summer, because we know they won't do them like from August on, because you've got special parties. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so quite a bit. And there's a few places open for shopping. Definitely the Emporium, a couple other things on Main Street, and then a few other shops scattered throughout the park, but not a lot, but you'll definitely be able to do some shopping. So yeah, again, I would, okay, every night is going to be different, but where I'm going to go on a limb and say the only thing that won't be a walk-on will be Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
And when I say
Depending
not
on
a walk on, maybe we might have to
10
wait for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's more than like we should define walk on. What I define as a walk on is when you get there and there's like a car or two worth of people before you get on. I
Yes.
call that a walk on. Like you're waiting for like inside of 5 minutes. We'll just call
Yes.
it that. Sometimes Seven Dwarves is still, again, it's a short track, but they like it doesn't move people on and off quickly. I don't know what it is about that. Why? But like that's one thing that I've noticed. It's not a quick in and out of the station. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if that's why, but because it's such a short ride, I just feel like it takes a long time to load in and load out. But maybe I'm making that up.
No, it's definitely not a quick mover.
So yeah, you got like that. I mean, I'm telling almost everything else is going to be like even Space Mountain. That's like I've never had to wait when we went there. I mean, what else would be a maybe you'd have to wait? Like
Maybe Peter Pan.
Like maybe never Pirates. You always think pirate. Never.
No, Pirates will always be a walk on. Peter Pan is just. It's almost for some reason it's like Seven Dwarfs. It's like rider per hour capacity is just limited, just based on how fast the attraction goes. So yeah, I'm really those are the only two. You got to think what doesn't allow a lot of people on at one time, and that's kind of what's going to be the slowest. But the last time I was at an after hours event, which probably 4 years ago. I mean, we had no problem. I think the only thing we waited for was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And it, like you said, it still technically would have been turned to walk on. We baited maybe 3 trains.
Yeah. I would agree. So let's talk about food because we talked about restaurants will be for sure closed. But another thing of why this is a great value is I don't remember, but we should have looked this up. Your bottled beverages, so Coke, Diet Coke, root beer, Sprite, and water. Is that?
Yes.
There's even a root beer. It might not be root beer. And these are going to specifically be at carts. And if you're a Disney Worlder like we are, you know where all the carts usually are. They are going to be in more locations. But they're gonna all the staples where you know where like that really creepy dark path just to like between the Tangled Bathrooms and Haunted Mansion. Yep, goes a cart there, and a few other places. There's plenty to choose from. Like one of the things that I was worried about first on, I was like, oh, you're gonna give away some treats. Cool. There's gonna be one in the back over by Barnstormer, and one over by like what's the I don't know Tower of Terror, Big Thunder Mountain.
Yes, Tower
Big Thunder Mountain. Yes, Tower of Terror, Big Thunder Mountain. Like, no, they are actually really spaced well, and they bring them in areas that you don't typically find them in. Correct. So let's talk about what you get. So any bottled beverage from those carts, absolutely included 100% with the price, as 100%. Well as boxed popcorn. So no special like. You don't have to wait in line for that guy who's all like, I want my special popcorn bucket. And then all of the said ice creams. So the Mickey bar, the Mickey ice cream sandwich. And I feel like there's some not Dole Whips, Dole branded bars, like the fruit bar. It will be there. And all of that is included. Like you have heard me tell this story before. Matthew and I, when we went one time, he hit every snack cart and we left the park. He had 9 Diet Cokes and at $4.55 a pop, my man made some money.
He could sell them outside the park for like twice the amount.
That's right. So those are kind of your snack options, which are great. So you can get your sweet too. But okay, one thing that's not there, pretzels. They're literally the little roll around silver carts that like open up and one side is like drinks, the other side is frozen. That's the cart that that's what you'll get. But again, that's still a lot.
That's a lot. I definitely wish they would include pretzels and churros in this.
Yes.
Like that's like a staple Disney thing, like a Mickey pretzel. And if I had one complaint about the after hours is, if I'm going to pay $160 for 6 hours of fun, like I need a pretzel.
You can buy one before 10 p.m.
Correct. So if you're looking for your pretzel or your churro or any of those things, make sure you get them between 7 and 10.
Exactly. Okay.
Although I don't know how long they stay open because normally, like if the park's open till 10, like those carts start shutting down at 7:30 for some reason. So if you're in the park from 9 to 10, you're like, parched and starving and you can't find
I know.
anything, you got to go to the confectionery and just buy gummy worms
for $12.50.
for $12.50.
Oh my gosh, the confectionery. Remember we did that episode because it used to be the what was the call, and I called it the shampoo shop.
The shampoo shop. The shampoo shop.
Oh, early episodes for the win. Gotta love it. Okay, let's talk about. We've sworn by this value. Well, let's break it down. We've talked about your 20 plus attractions. We've talked about your, in effect, 6 hours for a paid 3-hour event. And we've talked about the free snacks and drinks that you can get. So let's break this down. Let's just break it down by hours. Let's just start
Break it
there.
down.
So we're going to pick the most expensive night that you can go that is not a pass holder or Disney DVC. Thank you. That is $159 before tax. So before tax, when you divide that by the 6 hours, that's $27 an hour. People, you have done much worse things that you spent $27 for an hour or $50 for 2 hours, aka your family of 4 to the freaking movie theater. Am I wrong here? Hello.
Correct. Correct.
For this. And again, I'm not saying that you can ride all 20 plus attractions. We'll link to the Blog Mickey article that kind of inspired this show. And they did like 18 in 6 hours.
I think if you were by yourself and you really put your pedal to the metal,
yeah,
I think you could get all of
I think
them.
you could. Yep.
Between 7 and 1 a.m. I mean, that's 5 hours of huffing.
Yeah.
But you could
there's 60 people that are right now, they're like, challenge accepted.
if you do it, certainly send us an email or let us know if you've gone to one of these parties.
Yes,
you've ridden everything that is open. We want to know about it. But I think if you're not worried about getting the free snacks, if you're not worried about there's a couple character meet and greets, princesses and Mickey, if you're not worried about that kind of stuff and you're just ready to just see how many attractions you can knock out, right, I think you can get pretty close to this.
I don't remember, like I had never really paid attention to it because, again, I've gone to the world so many times. I've never said, oh, how many things did we ride, do, experience in this day? I wish I would have. I have a Disneyland that I did in a day that's somewhere I kept in my notes because I listed all the things I wanted to ride and I checked them all off as I did them. There's only 1 or 2 that I missed, but I don't remember the number. But here's what I can almost guarantee you, especially in a post-COVID Disney World. You're not riding 18 plus attractions in a full day at Magic Kingdom. No. You're not. I'm sorry. And you're paying the same price.
It's not happening. Nope.
I will bet you money. I will bet your park day ticket that it will not happen. Not your whole family of 6, just yours, Steve. I don't know who Steve is.
Yes, Steve.
Steve, don't email me asking.
Don't be a problem. Don't be a problem, Steve.
I've done it. I don't think in a pre-COVID world on a dead day, like you would be wiped because it's so much time standing in line.
I mean,
you got the kids and
the only time you could have possibly done it was when the old fast pass system was around. Yeah. That's the only time that you could have possibly gotten close to that. Now the way they space out lightning lanes and Genie Plus, like it doesn't allow you to select things that quickly. So you're just not. I mean, if you've looked at the wait times, every major attraction has at least an hour wait these days. So there's just not. Yeah. It's not an 18-hour park day. You just can't do it.
No, and so I'll tell you this again. We're going to link to this article, but they do a great job of talking about what they did pregame, and then what they did during the after hours event, and just the after hours event. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from 10:12 p.m. to 12:49 a.m., they rode 9 attractions.
Yeah.
Now that may not seem like a lot, but again, from 7 to 10, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
So, and when they did 18 total because the last 2 rides they did 7 Dwarfs Mine Train twice. Now, a lot of things, and they also put the the time, which is good to know. Like, because some of these things you have to remember, like Jungle Cruise is not a 3-minute ride, right?
No.
So like that was 22 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Splash Mountain, 22 minutes. Haunted Mansion, 15, right? Space Mountain, 11, which we know 6 of that is walking all the way to the cars.
Walking to the thing. Yeah, they really need to find some sort of like shortcut into there when there's like these after-hour events.
But like short attractions, right? These are good. Like Buzz Lightyear, Ranger Spin, 7 minutes total from walking into the queue to walking out. Peter Pan's Flight, 9 minutes. When are you ever going to ride Peter Pan in 9 minutes? Ever?
Never.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, they have a breakdown in the article of what they were able to experience from 7:40 p.m. And remember, it opened at 7. So the first 40 minutes, they didn't ride an attraction. So 7:40 p.m. to 12:49 a.m., 18 attractions, one of them twice. So 19 experiences, air quotes, in that 6-hour period. Now you can do that. Like, let's okay. I'll backtrack on my words.
Look,
you can probably
Steve's
do that
already
in a day.
scaring you. Steve's already scaring you.
You can probably do that in a full day at Magic Kingdom. You will be flipping wiped. I mean, these are all kind of like at no point were they. This doesn't feel rushed to me when you look at their schedule. No. This just kind of feel like, oh, what do you want to walk to next and go get on? No. Like it was leisurely. I mean, you're talking 9 rides from 10:12 to 12:49 a.m.
Yeah.
That's not killing yourself to do things.
Yeah, there's no way. One, I don't think you could do this at a normal day at Magic Kingdom, but like Dave said, you're going to be wiped, and this doesn't allow for going to the bathroom. This doesn't allow for eating anything. Like if you're going to try to ride 19 experiences during a normal day, you're putting some work in.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty impressed. If anybody gets near 19, I mean, you were funny. You were like, I don't like the times I've been there. Sometimes I don't remember how many we did. I was just thinking in my head and laughing when we went there for the 50th. I don't think we rode anything.
Yeah.
Did we get on any attraction?
I don't recall.
I think
if we did, it was like an undesirable one. Like
I think we got on the carousel.
Yeah. Or mermaid
or something like that.
They also I went a little further. They also listed the averaged wait times that they observed during the event, not their personal wait times, the average. And the longest one, like we said, was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, 35 minutes. Their experience were the first time they rode it, it was an 18-minute wait. Or 18 minutes total, but we all know that ride is it's just a bit longer than Barnstormer.
21 seconds.
18 minutes for the first time they rode it, and 20 minutes the second time. So they were above average. And again, notice it is key to talk about. They saved that for the last of the night. That is very strategic. Very definitely strategic. But like you're talking, Jungle Cruise 10 minutes, Haunted Mansion 13 minutes. Dumbo 5, Buzz Lightyear 5, Small World 5, Pirates 8, Carousel 10, Space Mountain 15. Again, 6 to 8 minutes of that is walking. Splash Mountain 10. Swiss Family Treehouse is not a 5-minute wait. This must have been the posted times.
Yeah, I think it's the posted. I think Swiss Family Treehouse always says 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I think the whole event, it basically Haunted Mansion says 13 minutes. Don't know why I made that laugh, and don't know why 13 is associated with scary. Like usually it's like superstitious, not scary, right?
I don't know. I don't know why that's scary.
Dang, I was right. We've been recording for almost 50 minutes, so we did not need to do news.
That is you're 100% correct. Like that is good thing we just did the peruse. So like I am drinking, I don't know. This is a Sam Adams Holiday White Ale. It's citrus and hazy.
Ooh.
It kind of tastes like
hazy shade of winter.
A hazy shade of winter, but it also tastes like it has a little pumpkin spice in it, maybe.
That's your jam.
You would also probably like this one.
Yes. I am drinking a Chateau Morissette Cider Works.
Oh, that one's fancy.
A cherry ginger cider. Here are those for you watching.
That's fancy.
This is brewed really close to where you used to live. In just outside of Charlottesville in a quaint little town called I can't read. Oh man, it was on the box. Floyd, Virginia.
Floyd, Virginia. Yes, that is not too far away from where I used to live.
Not bad from it's close to the Blue Ridge Parkway, probably close to one of the entrances to the national park. It is good. It's refreshing.
'Tis indeed. Bring some of that in a couple weeks. Throw some in your
Done.
suitcase.
Done. It's weird. It's weird that it doesn't fit in my. I like the ones that fit in my Yeti, like the Trulies and the tall boys, the skinnies.
The tall skinny boys.
Wait, this is probably a tall boy. I don't know what 16 is. Is 16 a tall boy?
Yeah.
All right. This was good.
This was good.
I will say, let's Brandon has no idea what I'm about to say. I'll ask it here. You can poo-poo it. You can say yay, or you can say, let's talk about this offline and not do this to our guests. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to discuss something negative. Shocker.
Whoa.
I wanted to talk about if now I can't think of the name of it. The Star Cruiser is a flop or not.
Oh,
because
100%.
they are already offering 30% off.
And they're actually also already canceling days.
Yes.
So
and right
100%.
now, I think Memorial Day weekend is the only sold out time on the entire calendar.
Yeah, 100% a flop. I was talking about this with a Disney friend this weekend. I don't think that there's any path to this thing being successful for years going forward. Here's what I hope they do. I hope that they change it to a regular Disney resort hotel that anyone can visit and just keep it Star Wars themed. What's the cool thing about a lot of the places you can go at Disney? Beach Club, Boardwalk. You can go stay there again and again and again and again. You can go visit again and again and again.
And there are restaurants.
And there's restaurants. The Galactic Star Cruiser, you go once, even the people that are diehard Star Wars fans, you go once, you experience it, 80% chance you're never, ever going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Disney has said, this is going to draw all of our Star Wars fans in, and they're going to continue to keep this thing afloat.
Yeah.
When in reality, they kept it afloat for the first 6 months.
Maybe.
And now they're figuring out it's not going to work. And it's like we talked about. People are not emotionally connected to this.
Well, I think they may have so are we talking about it now or we're going to do a show?
I mean, I feel like we just talked about it. We can give a teaser of the show.
Yeah. I would say they have drastically overestimated Star Wars fans. The amount of Star Wars fans that care about Disney, that I think is a valid thing to unpack. And 3, Star Wars fans that are willing to pay that much for said exclusive event.
I agree.
Let's leave that as 3. Yeah.
Let's leave that as the teaser. We'll do a show on that, and we will bring Rob Fuzz.
Yeah, hopefully Rob can do that because
hopefully Rob can give us an opinion.
And maybe we'll have some more exciting news as we inch closer to the end of the 50th anniversary. Ooh. Until next time. Bicycle.
Peace.